At Troy Kwan, my God.
That's it.
Every time I die, decaying with the boys.
Yeah,
it's a Troy Kwan
great.
pick.
That's right.
You went to the show over the weekend?
Yeah, they played twice. They played once in Brooklyn at the Warsaw, and then they played at Webster Hall on Saturday night. I went and saw both shows. And
Nice.
they fucking lay it down live.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I see you wearing the concert shirt, too.
Oh, yeah, you got to do that.
Little wolf with laser beams coming out of the eyes.
Yeah, they make like cool baseball, like kind of vintagey looking baseball shirts.
Right.
Those never fit me right when I was growing up because I would need a larger one to cover my side fat, but then the arms would be too long.
Yeah.
Just the torture of being me. Go ahead.
You can fit in them now.
Now I can, yeah.
Yeah.
How long has every time I die been around?
They like late 90s, early 2000s.
No kidding.
Yeah, and they do it well. They do like hardcore music. They do like chuggy, like Slayer kind of riffs, like jin, 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 jin.
Right.
But then they mix like Southern rock riffs with like a lot of groove. And then, with the mix between like screaming and singing, they do it better than anybody else. In my
They're
opinion.
not too throaty.
No, yeah, and they're like,
I can handle them because they're not too throaty.
Yeah, they sing. They do like
Right.
singy parts and then they scream. But yeah, their new album is amazing.
Nothing wrong with screaming.
Yeah.
Just that throat shit I never got into.
Yeah, it's hard, and especially like it's hard for girls to get into that. They can't relate to that at all, like.
So you go to these shows with a whole bunch of dudes.
Exactly, it's very testosterone driven.
Not every time I die, but I'm just saying those other shows.
Yeah, metal shows definitely attract mostly men in black shirts.
A lot of black shirts.
Yeah, but they do it really well.
Good pick, man. I'm gonna have to listen to a few more of their songs.
Cool. Thanks for letting me play, dude.
Anytime you got a song, please let us have it.
For sure. I got some Faith No More coming up because they're playing 2 nights in New York City.
The Faith No More thing, I forgot with you.
Oh, dude, just wait. Middle of May, they're playing 2 nights at Webster Hall.
Actually, I promised that I would go to a Faith No More show with you.
Yeah, well, you know what?
To really check it out and see what they're all about. Because I only know their radio hits over the years.
You know, it'd be a good one to go to this summer. They're playing Philadelphia at the Mann Center, and I can get like VIP all access.
Well, I certainly go to Philly a lot, so
that might work out. We can try to make that work.
Not a bad idea, Troy Kwan.
Yeah, dude.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
How was your weekend? Besides that, good.
It was great.
You watched the Bruce Jenner?
I did. And I was watching Jim Norton.
Good answer.
Thank you.
That was a trick question.
Great job, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Loved it.
Thanks, Troy. Thank you, man.
The feedback on Jim Norton's special was terrific.
Yeah, people liked it. I was really happy.
It's a very, very good special. Now you can see it on demand and online and all that, right?
I think so, yeah.
Or soon enough.
Let me address an issue, too. There was a buzzing, and I noticed it on mine, too. It was when you were watching it during the audience sounds, it was like, and that was not from that was like, I think a FiOS feed or maybe one of the other feeds, because if you watch it in other
forums or whatever,
it didn't happen. Kenny checked another form and it wasn't. We checked the masters and it wasn't on that.
Right.
So it was just one of those things where a couple of the feeds that went out it must have been set wrong or whatever.
Right.
But that's not in all the editions of it.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching it.
Did that drive you nuts for a little while?
It drove me crazy because I thought there was something buzzing. I thought one of my phones was ringing.
Right.
I'm like, what is this sound? And then I realized I called. I think Kenny called me, or I called Kenny, and he goes, "Yeah, I hear it," but he also has FiOS. So
right. Well, there you go. I'm not going to get FiOS.
That's the only problem.
If they're messing up your special, there's no way I'm getting rid of Time Warner for FiOS.
It's amazing. I've been raving about FiOS,
right,
and praising them,
right,
and then the one company that fucks me up is FiOS,
right. The one time you actually need them to do the right thing and make sure your thing is crystal clear.
But I forget.
It doesn't happen.
They didn't mean it.
No, it's a very, very good special.
Yeah, you were there when they shot it.
I sure was, Jim Norton, up there in Boston in the middle of... When did we go up there? I was trying to remember.
That was the end of January.
It was the end of January. Yeah, we picked you picked a terrific time to visit Boston. I love going up there, but not in, January.
There was actually talks of me shooting that live. I was going to shoot that live.
Really?
Yeah. Epic said I originally wanted to shoot last April. I was ready to shoot last April. A lot of the material changed, but last April I wanted to shoot, and they were like, "We have this thing that we're doing, so the budget didn't allow it. How about September, October, and you can go out live?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'll wait if I can go out live." And then they wound up getting something with the NHL, and they're like, "Look," and I'm like, "Fine, I'll just do it this way."
Right.
And then they couldn't guarantee me a date in January or February, so I'm like, let me just fucking get it shot and then move on.
That would be cool. The next one you should do live then.
It was just a matter of getting the date. They had too many things that they were with hockey. They're doing this big thing with hockey. I think they got Katy Perry. It's like,
what are they doing with hockey?
I think they're doing some kind of reality show or something. I don't know exactly.
I don't know either. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
I like my hockey. I like my playoff hockey. My team is in Game 7 tonight, Jim Norton.
Who's that?
Islanders and the Capitals.
Oh,
Game 7. And Travis's team moved on, the Habs. The Habs have moved on. Playoff hockey rules. You got to take a look.
I don't watch any.
Take a look tonight. Game 7 of the Islanders game. They gotta play down there in Washington, though, so that's going to be fucking really tough. But we could do it. And then I guess there was a... did you cover that on the pre-show? There's a reporter saying that if the Islanders win, they force a Game 8. They force a Game 8 at home. Did you see that, Sam?
I saw it. I didn't cover it. I didn't have a chance to cover it on the pre-show, but I did.
New York TV affiliate says Islanders Game 7 win could force Game 8.
And it was NBC. It wasn't just a random,
I thought at first it was like some dumb local, maybe News 12 or something out there on Long Island, but do you have audio of this? Or is it just... Was it just a story?
I think it was just a graphic.
We expect this type of treatment from Los Angeles area network television affiliates, but New York City, come on, guys. It's not like the Islanders are a novelty. Check out the above picture and below link of NBC New York's affiliate saying if the Islanders beat the Capitals in Game 7, then hello, Game 8. Also, there's a bit of a typo at the beginning. Hey, we're all human. So maybe play that Vine clip. Let's see if that's it. No shall word.
Back in 1982, my son was conceived back in that parking lot here at an island. Back in
That's just a woman saying she was made pregnant in an Islanders parking lot.
That's great.
That's something else.
Well, there were rumors for a while that I was Don Imus' son, and then Don Imus decided to tell people that he impregnated my mom at an Islanders game or in a parking lot. Do you remember that?
Was that your mom?
No, that was not my mom.
Oh.
Is this the guy saying...
This is the clip you were looking
Oh, I know this dope. I've seen him on TV a bunch.
Yeah.
Just proves that these guys just read shit and they don't even pay attention to what they're reading. Go ahead.
Well, don't close the Coliseum just yet. The Islanders could extend their stay at Nassau Coliseum. How about this? Trying English version now. If they win tomorrow's matchup in Washington. Nicely done. Yesterday, security was tight for what's still going to be the team's last game at the Coliseum. Kind of a bittersweet day for hockey fans. They watched the Islanders take down Washington in Game 6 of the playoffs. But knowing this might be the last time they step foot in the Coliseum brought back memories for a lot of loyal fans.
My father brought me here.
I think it's the graphic guy that fucked up.
But he also said, this is Game 6. Don't close the Coliseum yet.
Right.
So, yes, you can.
Well, if they beat the Capitals tonight, then we got more games in Nassau Coliseum. So that's where
maybe you can at least give them the benefit of a doubt.
Yeah, that's where they got confused. But then the graphic guy goes, "Oh, that means they're forcing a Game 8, I think." Well, play the end of this. It's just a few more seconds.
My two brothers, so yeah, that means everything. Long Island, the Islanders, I love hockey. My greatest moment was Mr. Islander Bobby Nystrom when he scored the winning goal in all his Flyers. I was fortunate enough to sit in section 117, row E, seat 9. And remember it like it was yesterday. It seemed like yesterday, yeah.
Row E, seat 9. Now, if the Islanders win tomorrow's game in Washington, they will return to Long Island in their quest for the Stanley Cup. That's what I was trying to say there a moment ago.
You said it.
Eventually.
Just in your own language.
It's not live, is it? They fix all this stuff in editing.
That's Pat Battle, too. No, it's just a graphic guy.
The graphic guy fucked up.
Yeah, if they win, there'll be more games in Nassau Coliseum. That's what they were trying to say.
He probably didn't realize it was going to be the next series.
Right, exactly. I have DirecTV, Jim Norton, but really want to watch the special. Is there another way? Asks Mark in North Carolina.
I don't know, Mark. EpicsHD.com or on demand, I think. I thought they were on DirecTV or they're going on DirecTV. I really don't know.
Well, the beauty of the internet, it's out there on the internet. Go watch it that way, Mark.
Yeah, it'll be on Netflix in 3 months. There's only a 3-month window before Netflix, but I would still rather have it, watched sooner.
Yeah, absolutely. How were the numbers? Did anyone tell you?
I have no idea. I won't know until this week.
I mean, the Bruce Jenner thing was fucking huge. 17 million people saw that. That's a lot of people.
So do you think you might have beaten it?
There were rumblings that they felt that we probably were neck and neck for a while. Yeah, but they weren't sure.
Oh, okay.
I should have exact figures, but that actually works to my advantage because this way, if it only did okay, people are like, God, Bruce Jenner. Like, I know, what bad luck.
That's a built-in excuse.
Yeah, my other ones have done really well, so I'm hoping this one at least did okay.
You're going to do great.
I hope so.
They might have to. There might be a few people that ended up sticking with the Bruce Jenner
Yeah, I
thing,
don't blame
unfortunately.
them.
But
DVR it. Fucking Bruce Jenner was. I watched the interview. It was fascinating. I watched it last night.
It was fascinating. I watched it with a whole bunch of people down there in Philly, and man, we were all just trying to figure it all out. And the vibe of the room was basically like just trying to wrap your head around the whole thing. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's hard to comprehend from his point of view, or from her point. Like, he doesn't seem like a crazy person. It's not like you're listening to a crazy person talk.
Right.
He's a very rational guy.
Right.
And it seems like at 65, he realizes this is who I've been since I was like, I don't know. I don't understand it from that point of view.
That's 65.
Yeah, to know. Wendy Williams is kind of annoying.
Yeah, we could play that clip. I think Travis queued it up for you there, Sammy. It's on your screen somewhere if you can find it.
Yeah, I got it over here.
All right. I want to play a few clips from the Bruce Jenner interview as well. But you want to do the Bruce Jenner clips and then we'll move on to the Wendy Williams? Let's do it that way. The one thing that really freaked me out was, I think it was later in the interview, Bruce or Diane Sawyer said that I went out to dinner with her. Like, I guess he invited her out to dinner.
He invited Diane Sawyer over, yeah.
And then as an afterthought of the interview, she said something like, I ended up going out to dinner with her, and I had a lovely time. Almost like the person she was interviewing is not who he really is. Like, he's still... I guess the only way I could explain it is he's still acting. Like, it seems like he's extremely different when he just lets it go and decides I'm this woman. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because she was talking about it like it was two completely different people, and that's what was blowing my mind. So I'm like, all right, the person we saw on the couch during that interview, is he just completely acting still?
This is, I guess, it's hard to say her when you're referring to Bruce Jenner. And Bruce said during the interview, call me, hey, it's Bruce.
Right.
But I guess this was the last time you'll see him as Bruce. And the next time will be, this is how I really am, and this is who I really am.
Right.
Not I'm changing into this lady, but I'm going to stop pretending I'm this guy. Yeah. I don't understand.
And he's going to be completely different?
I guess attitude.
And his mannerisms and his voice.
Like, he kept saying, I have the soul of a woman.
Right.
And I don't understand that because I just know my own thinking. Like, I don't understand how you feel you have the soul of a different gender.
Yeah.
But, that's what Bruce was saying. I don't know. It's hard to wrap your head around from this angle.
Right.
Like from the point of view of knowing it. But what struck me is he kept saying, like, I look at these guys and I'm so jealous because, like, they're comfortable being who they are. They feel like they belong in their own skin, and I don't. Mm-hmm. And that I just don't know what that's like.
Right. Yeah. And then he showed Diane Sawyer the dress this was before it happened, the dress he was going to wear for the dinner they were going to have together, and then walks into this room, and it's one closet filled with all his men clothes, and then on the left was all his female clothes, and I was trying to wrap my head around that. Even I'm like, why haven't you just thrown all your men's clothes away by now?
Well, that might have just been for the show too. Like, maybe for the show he's just made it easier to get. Or maybe that's just easier for him.
Right.
So he doesn't pick the wrong thing.
Right. And then was he extremely uncomfortable wearing a men's shirt during the interview with the collar and stuff? Why didn't he wear something more feminine?
Because he's probably been dressed. He's been dressed like this his whole life. So
right.
No,
or he's just controlling what we see is, I guess, the point I'm making here.
Yeah.
Because he's ready to be a woman no matter what the hormones are saying and the other surgeries he's going to get. He's already made his mind up, I'm now a woman. So that's why I was confused. I'm like, why isn't more of that coming out during the interview?
He wouldn't even say his name, his female name in the interview.
Probably wants to reveal that on the show. That's something that's promotional.
Yeah, he learned well from the Kardashians.
Yeah, that's a promotional
But that's what I mean, like he's controlling.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't give anything. You don't give anything away if you're a Kardashian or involved with that family. So
30 years ago, I'll tell you one thing: Bruce fucked a lot of women who know how to keep a secret. But you got to pick Bruce Jenner's people in his life. He has good family because no one blabbed about it.
Right.
Not one woman he fucked in a divorce.
Right.
I can't believe none of the women he fucked left in a divorce, but he has tits.
Right. He's been taking hormones.
Yeah, he wants to be a lady.
Right.
Well, our marriage wasn't going. It was hard. I felt like we were arguing too much, and he wants to be a lady.
Right. That son of a bitch.
How did none of them blab that? I respect these women that he was with.
Right. The one, Linda. Oh, fuck. I don't have my info in front of me. His second wife, Linda Thompson, Sam, I think.
That sounds right, but I'm not positive.
Brenda Schmenda.
She
really hilarious.
When she found out she was deeply depressed, she would just wander up and down the Pacific Coast Highway driving. She never told her sons until they turned 29 and 31, I believe. And Bruce had this idea, like, well, she'll be accepting because I'm in love with her and we have this family.
Yeah.
And he said something like that he wanted to go to Denmark and then come back and then introduce himself to the kids as Aunt something. I got to find the name in the paper today. And she's like, no, that's not going to happen. I can't do that. So obviously that broke up their marriage, and then she held the secret, like you said, for many, many years.
And even blabby Kris Jenner. I give credit to Kris Jenner because as much as people say she exploits everything, Bruce said during the interview, I knew the whole time I had the story. He had the bigger story of that whole fucking family.
Isn't that amazing?
Kris Jenner knew it too. And she never said anything, and she never pushed it to the point where it had to be talked about.
Yeah. He kind of rubbed it in, too. He's like, the whole time I had the story. And he was just kind of smirking and smiling like, face. He must be a really good lay if these women are able to, keep quiet about it for that many years.
I don't know. I can't understand why no one would, divorces get so fucking ugly. Excuse me. Why would they not say anything?
Divorce? How about just an ex-girlfriend you had for a couple weeks?
Or some friend that you knew from a party.
Right.
He goes to parties as a there's a great, I said that there were things in Transparent. There were parts of the family angle that annoyed me. The people who played his family, I didn't like that. But the parts with Jeffrey Tambor were fucking awesome. And there's one scene where they're flashing back to where he's meeting this other guy in a bookstore.
Yeah.
And and they're both buying magazines they're not having sex. They're just buying magazines on cross-dressing. And they go to this camp one weekend for cross-dressers. And it's not a fuck fest. It's literally just a bunch of guys who go and dress up like ladies, and they do lady things. And they're all wearing like ladies' outfits and purses, just going to a dance, but just being women. But it's not some devious, we're all going to stick it in each other's asses behind a tree. It's like they're just being women and doing women shit. And I'm like, none of them, that's what his parties are like. If anyone saw Transparent, that's what it was like. They just get together, be girls, have punch.
Let me ask you this. You've talked to a bunch of trannies over the years?
Allegedly.
Okay.
Yes, I have.
Have any of them hinted that there might be some mental illness that is also associated with this behavior?
I've asked. I've actually said, how do you know? Do you, with the surgery? And that was who told me that there was a high suicide rate, was a tranny. A trans girl told me that a lot of girls get the dicks cut off and they hate it.
Right.
Because they can't come the same way.
Right.
And it's just depressing and it's not what they wanted. So I'm trying to think of I don't think there was like a cut and clear answer. I told you, I asked my therapist. I was curious, is it simply a mental issue? Mm-hmm. Because when you hear someone describe it, you could just as easily say, that's all mental and they just don't know how to handle it. And my therapist told me, no, that there's a lot of physical stuff with it, or stuff that has nothing to do with mental illness.
Yeah.
It's, there's things found in the body, hormonal, whatever. And I just didn't understand it medically, but she indicated that it was not just a mental thing.
Right. I'm going to say ahead of time, this is a very stupid observation. I asked that because a few things. I saw Bailey J's interview on Amy Schumer.
Awesome.
She looks like she was supposed to be a woman her entire life. Okay?
Yes.
No doubt. You see her face, she's beautiful.
I tell myself that every time I come.
And then there's others that they've been parading around on all these news shows, and most of the news shows, they have a couple. There's 2 or 3 of them. And you see, that one was supposed to be a woman her entire life. And then there's 1 or 2 in there where you're like, Sure. And that's when I start thinking, is there more to this?
When you look physically, there are some that don't look as passable or as feminine, but I was in the steam room yesterday. Here's an example, and I go in a lot in our gym. And do you know there's an older Asian guy that goes to our gym? I'm sure you've seen him.
I've seen him naked.
Looks like he's wearing a mask.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen him naked, and he has a tiny micro penis.
Horrendous.
And he fucking shows it off.
And he walks around.
And I wanted to say, will you put that fucking thing away?
But I didn't get
He's the one that dyes his hair?
Yeah, it's terrible.
He gets black. Can I just go off?
Yes.
All right, I don't want to fuck you up too
Not
much.
at all.
But this guy has been driving me nuts in the gym forever. He gets the black hair dye, and he does it. You've seen him, right? He does his eyebrows, his hair. I think he brushes his pubes because he's in there all the time naked.
And he looks like he's wearing a mask of a younger person. Like he's had such bad surgery done.
Yes.
And he has a gut. He almost looks like a baby or Bobby Lee.
Yes.
But he has a tiny micro penis.
Tiny.
And he walked into the steam room yesterday, and I'm sitting on the front step. I always sit right on the front step looking directly out the door. And in fairness, he didn't sit across from me and try to be sexy. He gets like up on the top step behind me to the left, like not near me, but like where he's not trying to get me to look at him.
How many people in the steam room?
Just me and him.
Okay, something. He was expecting something.
But at one point,
because it's like an elevator. The steam room is like the elevator. Like if it's 2 people directly across from each other, 3 people, it's like you're making a triangle. Just like in an elevator, you figure out your space immediately.
Sometimes directly across from you, they want you to look at them. Sometimes behind you to the left. Like they don't. It wasn't behind me uncomfortably. It was like, it was behind me where it was obviously he was not trying to make contact with it.
Strange though.
But I hear this, and when you're in a steam room, you scratch your chest. Sometimes it just itches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know he's just rubbing his face, and he goes, "Excuse me, awata." So I look behind me, and he's got a cup, and he wants to throw water at the ceiling,
right,
which gets the steam coming out. So he was asking my permission to move, so he could do. I'm like, okay, fine. So I move, and he does it, but he's naked. Baby body is naked, and he throws the water, and the steam comes out. But when you look at a guy like that, and then you look at a guy like, I would use my own example, but let's say like what a real man looks like. Take a Chuck Liddell or a male porn star, whoever. Guy with washboard abs, big arms, giant dick, whatever. Like you look and go, was this guy meant to be a man or is this guy meant to be a man? Like one guy is meant to be a man. If you look at it that way, one guy is so fucking physically much more. Look at Rogan.
Right.
I don't know what Rogan's dick looks like, but look at Rogan's body next to baby body.
Right.
Fucking tiny dick. That's the way it is with trannies. Like one will look more feminine and passable, and one will look like a little bit more on the other side.
Right.
That's the way it is with men too. Or you know what I mean? Like this one looks like a fucking horrible baby example.
So what happened to that guy that he's like?
I don't know. I want to flick his dick. not even sexually. I just want it to go like feely.
What happened to that guy that he's less of a man physically? I should say. I should say it that way. What happens?
Just degrees of it. Hormones, fucking, I don't know what goes into making that guy such a weird little belly. He's such an odd little man.
He's extreme. This one is extremely strange. We've never talked about him.
And I saw him taking his fucking towel off. There's a lot of black guys that work in the gym. They kind of, keep the towels. And I saw him. It wasn't a weird vibe like the other guy was, but there was another guy with a micro penis taking his fucking towel off in front of one of the black guys that works there. Is there like a fetish that white guys with tiny dicks have for black guys looking? I don't get it.
I don't know. The old man with the micro penis, I haven't seen him in a while.
Or the other guy.
Or the
black guy that worked there.
I think they both were told to beat it.
Yeah, stop looking at him naked.
That was the one, I don't know, maybe we got newer listeners, but there's an old, I think he's a Jewish guy, like an older, very old Jewish guy. He's probably pushing 70.
Yeah.
He's balding. He has a shitty body and just a disaster downstairs there. And he would come into the gym, and he would get naked immediately in front of one of the black guys, and then they would talk basketball. They would talk the NBA.
Yeah.
That was their thing. And I saw the guy show up to his locker, and he wouldn't even start talking until he was completely naked. And then the other guy knew he was there, like, oh, hey, it's time to talk some basketball with you.
And he was just
it was so strange.
And I caught the black guy fumbling with his zipper a few times, not jerking off, not doing anything like that.
Right.
But like the zipper was open. It was just bizarre.
Or maybe that guy got fired for whatever reason, because the club was taken over. And then the old Jewish guy is like, oh, well, fuck, that was the whole reason I was at the gym, so I'm out of here now. I don't know. But yeah, you make a very good point there. Yeah, it just seems like, I wonder if there's a percentage that there's some mental illness involved as environmentally, maybe. You look at Bruce Jenner's story. He didn't really get into it, and I wish he did. His father was probably on his fucking ass his entire life. His father seemed like he was a man's man, because he basically said that his dad wouldn't be accepting of this like his mom was and his sister was.
Well, it's probably like other plastic surgery, too. Like, are there people that get like a little touch-up that they need? Like, a little fix on the eyes here and there. Sorry, guys. And then there's people who do this fucking crazy. They get addicted to the surgery, and it becomes a mental illness, body dysmorphia. I'm sure it's the same with that.
Yeah, and he got electrolysis, Bruce Jenner?
In the 80s.
So he doesn't grow facial hair?
No.
Yeah, no.
That's amazing.
Do we have
And I think in the 80s, we're trying to get Belly J on.
Oh, okay.
I think in the 80s, he went through the estrogen treatments, right? The hormones.
Started, yeah.
Started, and then why did he bail again? I
His
forget.
family, his children. He didn't want to do anything that would hurt his children. And he felt like he did it for 5 years, and he felt like this is just too much for my kids.
Right.
Maybe he freaked out for other reasons, but back then, even 30 years ago, it was so much different. And which kind of, that's why Wendy Williams kind of annoyed me, because he actually did think of his kids. He lived 30 years longer than he wanted to, like this. You know.
Let me say hi to Robert in Brooklyn. Robert.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Jimmy, I just want to say you killed Jimmy.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Hey, on the Bruce Jenner thing, was it just me, or did he look like he was recovering from a stroke with the way his left eye was?
I didn't notice that.
It might be just all the surgery he's had. I doubt he had a stroke. I bet you it's more about he probably was trying to fix his eyes, and maybe he's still going through it. Maybe he's waiting for another more time under the knife.
Yeah, could be. But if you go back and look at it, you'll notice it.
What do you think about the whole thing?
I think like you're trying to get behind it. I think it's behavioral. I do think it's mental. I think he's born that way. I don't think it's a choice.
Yeah, I think I would have to say I think most are born that way. Like, holy fuck, I'm in the wrong body. And then I just wonder, because I don't know shit about this, if there is some mental illness that seeps in as well. That causes some of these people to want to change their identities. I don't know though. I have no idea. That's just a stab in the dark.
If you look at the Imitation Game, here's a guy who's a genius, and then they gave him hormonal therapy, and the guy commits suicide. I mean, they don't think the same way other people think. To crack the Enigma code and then be having issues with their sexuality.
Right. Exactly. All right, Robert. Thank you. I want to go to Charlie in Staten Island. Charlie, go ahead.
Good morning, boys. How you doing?
Hello, Charlie.
Pretty good.
I want to preamble this by saying that I'm not a right-wing nut job, nor am I a religious individual whatsoever. But don't you think that this is just a nut job being put on TV, a traveling freak show?
Well, there is certainly, ABC doesn't want to admit this, but there's certainly a freak show element to this whole thing. Of course, they know a lot of people are going to tune in to be like, what the fuck is this all about? And don't want to be educated about the issue at all. But
in my opinion, it's so sad that more people watch this guy do this thing than vote for the mayor of New York City. Where is our priorities anymore? And why is this guy? People think he's the hero for doing this. Ugh.
Well,
I don't agree with you on that.
He's a hero for doing this because it brings it really into the forefront and into the spotlight. There's a lot of people that do suffer from this and feel like they're trapped in these bodies and don't want to do what they really want to do, which is change their gender. They end up committing suicide. They're not accepted by their peers, their family, and society in general. And then you get a big star like this coming out. It really, really helps the issue.
And that's fine. But if you have that kind of, like you keep talking about mental illness, instead of going on TV, why don't you go talk to a therapist? Have extensive therapy sessions instead of putting this on TV.
I'm sure he's done that, dude.
Yeah, I would imagine Bruce Jenner has seen a few therapists a day.
And you have to, what advantage would Bruce Jenner have to doing this? I mean, yeah, attention, but I mean, Bruce Jenner doesn't need
money.
No, dude,
He
Bruce
doesn't
Jenner
need
doesn't
money.
need money. He's after the Kardashians. He is like, you think he's really gonna get tits put on for money?
Right.
Like,
But if look, let me ask a question, Jimmy. And I understand what your position's on it.
but how is he gonna make money from this?
Wait. No. Forget that for a second. If you really was feeling this way his whole life, why make this a freak show and go on TV?
I don't know if it's a freak show. Hold on, I'll go. I don't think it's a freak show in the sense that he sat down. He's controlling the information getting out, like Sam said, and he sat down with Diane Sawyer. Like, you can't do it any less freak show than sitting down with Diane Sawyer. That's almost like the fucking pinnacle of a legitimate interview, as opposed to, like, yeah, he's doing a reality show that he's controlling. But it's not like he went on Harvey Levin and just did a TMZ thing.
Right.
He sat down with Diane Sawyer just so probably it wouldn't be a freak show.
Right, I got what you're saying. But what I'm saying, if this was such an internal struggle and he struggled it for 30 years and blah, 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 why go on TV? I think this do it and go away.
I agree with you to a point. I really do. But he's used to the spotlight. He's used to being in the spotlight and all that. I don't believe he did. I don't believe he was doing the Diane Sawyer interview strictly to educate the entire country. Certainly, that was part of his motivation. But I also
want to bring it, like you said, to the forefront. Where I think, and trust me, look.
Do you think people would let him go away?
He's a public figure, so if he's not the one on TV, he's not controlling the story,
Yeah,
and it's going to be out there anyway.
And no one would let him go away, dude. He was just walking to Starbucks. They're obsessed with him. They would be taking photos of him. They'd be following him. Like, if you say, why doesn't he just go away? That you act like nobody would be hawking him for photos or video, or people would be trying to infiltrate and get pictures of him. They'd be all over him. We wouldn't let him go away.
I'm not trying to sound like, I honestly speaking, I really don't care. But don't you think there's more things that maybe Diane Sawyer should be focusing on than a guy going through a gender operation or whatever you call it?
No, I think it's a big thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a big thing in our culture. Like, what is this, and why does this happen, and why are people born this way? I don't think that's in this one. It's like, hey, man, we're trying to figure out what it is. People are trying at least to be accepting of it. Like the fact that everyone's calling, going, I don't know, what is this?
Right, it's a huge issue in this day and age. I mean, even President Obama, he was the first president that actually mentioned it. So. All right, Charlie. Thank you. I wanted to.
Have a good day, guys.
Goodbye, mister.
Let's go to Jacob in Ohio. Jacob.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
What's
Good
up,
morning.
cocksucker?
Fuck DirecTV for not carrying that Epix channel. I missed that shit. I can't wait to watch the stream online.
Thank you,
Why
Montel.
doesn't DirecTV cover Epix yet?
Their work? It's like any other
'cause they're
business
a
merger.
shit company.
Because, all right, I mean, Epix proving themselves.
They're
It's a good channel to have on your system.
So here's a couple things I noticed with the interview. Like Robert was saying, the whole eye twitching. I noticed that too. I wonder if he maybe did have a stroke or if a surgery went bad or something like that, because his left eye twitched consistently through the whole interview.
I didn't notice.
Maybe it was a nervous twitch.
Maybe mine was blinking in sync and I just didn't catch it.
Oh, here we go. Dr. Ginger on Twitter, to answer your question, I don't even know if this is true. Bruce Jenner has Bell's palsy, which is why his one eye doesn't blink the same. I don't know if that's
I didn't
true.
know that.
I've never heard that one before, so I don't even know why. I just fucking read her tweet, but whatever. It's a thought anyway.
Yes, mister.
Anything else? You said you caught Diane Sawyer lying?
Well, the other thing, too, okay, so if you listen to the interview, they said that they tried to reach out to the whole Kardashian clan, and nobody wanted to interview. None of the girls, Kris didn't want to, nothing like that. She said that she reached out to Kris Jenner for a comment, and Kris Jenner refused.
Right.
Well, if you were watching the Twitter, her and this douchebag Perez Hilton had some back and forth messages to each other, and Kris said that she was sitting next to Bruce watching the interview. So either Diane Sawyer is lying or Kris Jenner is lying.
Or they reached out, not to interrupt you, but or they reached out to the reps and didn't hear back. I mean, I can't see why a rep wouldn't tell Diane Sawyer, look, they're trying to get a hold of you. But maybe Kris Jenner wanted to address it on her own show, or maybe fucking...
they want to control everything. So they're like, well, look, we'll talk to you, but we're going to make a separate deal with ABC and you, Diane Sawyer.
I don't believe Diane Sawyer's lying. If you have to think who's lying, more Diane Sawyer or Kris Jenner... I don't see why Diane Sawyer wouldn't want Kris Jenner to be a part of it. Of course she would.
The Kardashians, I don't get it, but they're fucking brilliant business people.
Yeah.
And they're not going to give anything away for free. So I would imagine it's more of a negotiation. Like, we'll do it, but this is what we want.
Well,
we're not going to just jump on. We're not just going to jump on the big ABC interview and give it away that way.
It's interesting you bring that up, though, because if you do a little back history on the whole E! Network and ABC and everything. So the interview was done on ABC, but NBC actually owns E! Entertainment. So I'm wondering if the whole Kardashian clan didn't even know that Bruce had filmed the interview and he went off on a competitor network, because in my opinion, Kris would have never let that happen unless she was in complete control.
Well, I mean, they're divorced now, so Bruce is doing his own thing, and he's called.
I'm wondering if the whole Kardashian clan didn't even know that Bruce had filmed the interview, and he went off on a competitor network, because, in my opinion, Kris would have never let that happen unless she was in complete control
Well,
of it.
I mean, they're divorced now, so you know Bruce is doing his own thing, and he's calling the shots. So
And again, a Diane Sawyer interview that kind of crosses, I think, network loyalties. When you're doing an interview like that, it's like doing Oprah. There was no there was no loyalty to networks when you were doing Oprah. You know what I mean? You were just doing Oprah. That was bigger than any network you were on.
Yeah, it's just a whole mind-blowing thing, and then he's going to have his little docu-series on E, the summer. I don't know. I feel like there could have been so many better interviews going on or other shit. It was just a big waste of 2 hours.
I was interested in that.
God.
I thought it was awesome. I thought they did a great job with it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a waste. It was fascinating. It really created a lot of discussions around the country.
Well, 17 million people watched it.
17
so you
million
can't
people.
argue that people weren't interested.
And they stayed all the way to the end, too.
Yeah.
They ate it up.
And they got the I'm a woman thing out of the way early. It wasn't like they just I thought they were going to do like a retrospective for the first hour.
Right.
But they wove it right in from the beginning, which I kind of liked.
They jumped right in.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I want to go to Ben in Pennsylvania. Ben.
Hey there, Opie. How are you today?
All right, buddy.
Hey, I just wanted to bring up a blast from the past. Many, many years ago, you guys were making fun of the Frankenstein on skates, a.k.a. Bruce Jenner, during Skating with Celebrities.
Skating with celebrities, my God.
I don't remember
How
that.
many years ago was that?
But yes, we probably did.
We certainly have taken our shots at Bruce Jenner over the years. We all had the same fucking joke that he looked like an old lesbian.
Oh, yeah, you guys called it way back when he was skating with some girl and he just didn't know how to skate with her.
Oh, I remember that show. Of course, yes. Yeah, Sam just popped it up.
Was in it.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he was very awkward on skates. Right.
Uh-huh.
So
I guess you guys are prophetic at times.
Well, no. Everyone was hinting at this. Travis showed me a clip. Was it from Married with Children from 1997? Where there was an obvious woman, and I forgot her name. She was one of the stars of the show. She tapped this person on the back and said, "Are you Bruce Jenner?" And the reveal was it was a woman. So, I mean, people have been on this for a really long time. A real long time.
Have a good week, guys.
Thank you. Maybe you can put that clip on our Facebook page there, E-Rock. Are we trying to get Bailey J?
Yeah.
Is that
I
what's
actually
going on?
just texted with her. She missed E-Rock's call, but she's going to call in.
Oh, okay. Let me say hi to Tony in Brooklyn in the meantime. Tony, a regular. I do believe it's you. What's up?
Actually Huntington, buddy, but I work in Brooklyn.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, boy, one of my fondest memories was like having breakfast with my old man at 77, reading the back of the Wheaties box. How far we've fallen. But so anyway, is he?
Tony in Brooklyn in the meantime. Tony, a regular. I do believe it's you. What's up?
Actually Huntington, buddy, but I work in Brooklyn.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, boy, one of my fondest memories was like having breakfast with my old man at 77, reading the back of the Wheaties box. How far we've fallen. But so anyway, is he? If he's a woman and he likes women, does that make him a lesbian? Is that?
That was Diane Sawyer asked him that.
Yeah.
She's like, what? Because he doesn't like men.
Right.
And she asked him, "Are you a lesbian?" I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows what to call. I think it's hard for even him to say. I don't think he knows.
He definitely likes women, and it seems like he said that he was going to continue liking women, but he also said, look, I'm 65. It's not my number one priority these days, or however he said it. You know,
Getting laid, yeah.
Yeah, my sex drive, it's not the first thought when I wake up anymore. So, yeah, what do you think of the whole thing, Tony?
I think it's just sad, to be honest. We glorify, this guy was an Olympic athlete. Maybe it's because I'm 45 and, I don't know, I got older school values or whatever, but I'm tired of all the bullshit on TV. It really is.
But if it's legit, though, like if this, like, let's just say this is something that we're just kind of figuring out. I mean, I don't know if is it sad that he came out now, or is it just sad that people have this? And I don't know. What is it?
I don't know. I mean, it came out for what? That he's a woman? I guess it's just, I really just don't understand why people insist on putting their whole life on television. Find it to be just.
Well, I mean, there are people, that's their thing. They're addicted to the fame, and they're not going to do anything unless there's a camera in front of them, It
is the only way to kind of get people to notice stuff. And there's a way to do it that's freakish and wrong, too. But it's like you hear about all these trans people that get the shit beat out of them, or, it's like.
Right.
People have a really shitty view of it.
Right. All right, buddy. We got Bailey J on the hotline. We want to talk to her today. Thank you, Tony. Belly J.
Hi.
I got to start off by saying the interview on Amy Schumer's show was great.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, it came across very well. We're discussing the Bruce Jenner thing, obviously, and wow, everyone has a lot of questions.
Did you hear about the Bruce Jenner interview?
Yeah, I watched it.
What'd you think?
I actually thought it was really good. I mean, they packaged it a little corny, but that's to be expected. But when Jenner spoke, I thought they sounded really like empathetic. It's almost impossible to make fun of them. Well, not impossible. You can go online and see. But
what part did you feel was corny?
Well, I think it's just it's not corny. It's because I'm trans, so I kind of know all the questions that get asked. You know what I mean? I'm a little familiar with the territory.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, oh boy, like, but at the same time, I thought it was kind of nice. I don't know. A lot of people who are in the same position saw a lot of people have empathy for Bruce Jenner. So
I thought it was great, but like you're saying, like certain questions they ask, like, are you a lesbian? Like, I want to know the answer to that. But that's like someone coming up to me in a party going, where do you get your ideas from? You're like, ugh, fucking shut up. But I guess you have to ask those questions that most people don't know the answer to.
Well, because we're just not educated with this type of thing. Bruce Jenner, I believe, hinted that he's always liked women, that he wasn't faking that whatsoever, and it seems like he's going to continue to like women.
That's really, really typical. I mean, a lot of trans women I know are with women, so that's like a common thing.
Now, people have been saying, like, what is the physical difference? Because a lot of people ask, is it just a mental issue or a mental illness or a mental thing that somebody gets when they're a kid and convinces themselves, or biologically they tell themselves this is who they are? What's the physical stuff that says, no, it's not just a mental thing?
Well, it's really interesting because I definitely don't look at it as mental illness. I mean, I'm a neurotic person, but I think that's because I'm in show business, which is what I call porn.
Yeah,
but,
you're not wrong.
but I have a hard time viewing it as mental illness because, well, gay people until recently, everyone said, well, being gay is mental illness.
Right.
I think there's a lot of research that needs to be done and is being done, but I knew by the time I was 4, and I think child psychologists will tell you, and not everybody does, but child psychologists will tell you that when you start to realize what gender you are, you start to become aware of your gender around that age. And,
Billy? I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you. I got a 4-year-old. That just blew me away. I can't imagine my 4-year-old who's just figuring out basic shit about life would be sitting there going, oh my God, I'm in the wrong body. Like, how did you know at 4?
It's funny. It wasn't that heavy, but I went up to my mom and I was like, I'm mad at God. And she's like, you're mad at, like, she looked at me like I was a psycho. And she's like, you're mad at God? And I was like, well, yeah, he made you the wrong thing. And this, it sounds so cliche. It sounds like a Lifetime movie, but I remember doing that. And then she signed me up for T-ball for 5 years.
I'll show you.
Well, how ironic, T-ball.
Yeah, exactly. Were they accepting eventually, or right away, or never?
Very, yeah. By the time I transitioned around, I guess I started transitioning around 16, and my super tea party grandmother, she started me on hormone therapy. Like they actually did really come around.
But what is there a hormonal difference? Because my therapist told me that there's definitely things that are physically different inside someone who's transgender than somebody who's not. Like it's more than just I think I'm in the wrong body. That there are physical things that are different.
Well, there definitely was with me. That was what was so interesting. Was I knew I felt like a girl, and then the world thought I was. Everybody thought I was a girl when I was attempting to look like a boy. They were just like, "Hey, you're a lesbian." Like I was trying really hard to look like a boy. I buzzed my head. And I looked like G.I. Jane at best. Like nobody was falling for it.
I want to find I want to get like a medical, because I know that, every time, like they had a woman interviewed, a doctor interviewed, and I want to get a medical person to answer that, because I'm really curious as to what it is, because my therapist told me and I just, I don't remember.
I guess you just know. Why don't Why don't I mean this? I got it. Sorry, Bailey J. Ahead of time. A lot of transgender people have been on TV because of the Bruce Jenner interview, and like I said to Jimmy, I saw you on the Amy Schumer show, and I'm like, Bailey J. was meant to be a woman her entire life. There's no doubt in my stupid brain. Okay, and then I see others. I saw a couple on CNN just now, and I think they had two. One, same thing. I would never know, and it just looks like that person always needed to be in a to identify themselves as a female, and then you get the other one, and it's like it's questionable. And I apologize, but what is that all about?
Well, and that happens. I think that's a big thing that trans people, especially super political trans people, have a problem with, is that they tend to put, I guess, more heteronormatively passable trans people on TV, and they're kind of like, oh, but this is also what, this is what trans people look like, and that shouldn't be the case. There's a lot of factors. Everybody can transition at different parts in their life. I transitioned fairly young. Sometimes people are just shorter. You know what I mean? Like it really can make a difference. I mean, people just look so different. Some people have had plastic surgeries. There's a lot of factors, but there are help for those people too. There are procedures if they choose to have them done. I mean, but I know what you mean.
There are ugly trannies. There are ugly men. There are ugly women. There's ugly everything.
Right. But
yeah.
But I guess
ugly. Some people just don't look as good.
Right. It's more than that. It's like that person still looks like a male.
Right.
I would never think that about you, Bailey J. Until of course
Right.
Right.
So you're pulling your pants up, walking to the bathroom.
Yeah, the obvious part. But besides that, I would never know. Because, you've educated me over the years. Because a lot of my friends started talking about this Bailey J. You came in. I'm like, what? Wow. Okay. I didn't know before then.
I think that's where trans acceptance is going to come in really hugely, is where sometimes trans women can just look like trans women. We don't necessarily all have to look like what we refer to as a cis woman, or what some people would call it.
What does cis mean? I see that all the time. CIS, cisgender normative. Like a lot of them use that. That's the code word to slam white guys. Well, he's a cis.
It's weird. I think it's Latin. I'm not the person to ask, but it's basically the opposite of trans. It just means someone who's not trans. It stops you from saying a real woman.
Oh,
okay.
But it gets misused and used as a slur.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you mention anything about trans, he's just a cis normative. It just sounds like you're some spoiled, privileged asshole who doesn't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of all the questions I had now.
Here's a question you asked me before.
Yeah.
Why didn't you, when someone is trans, like Bruce or somebody, why didn't he just stay in his body and go, okay, I'm this person, but I'm in this body. Why go through any of the transitioning?
That's a really good question. I imagine it's compelling. I imagine it's a compulsion. I mean, and not in an unhealthy way. I imagine this person is compelled to do it.
Why didn't you? You had your body you were born with. Why did you want to change it all?
Well, that's the thing. I used to question that. I was like, if I didn't think this was going to be like shooting fish in a barrel, if I didn't get that this was going to be fairly easy, put on some eyeliner and then people will buy me drinks. I question. I'm like, is this, would I have done it? I always question that. Would I have had the guts to do it? And I see so many people where it was an uphill battle to transition, and they do it. So more power to them. But obviously, if this thing could have been swept under the rug, it would have been. And obviously, Bruce Jenner tried for a very long time, but it reaches a boiling point. You have to be yourself at some point. It's like not telling someone how you feel. Eventually, you're going to blurt it out, and
Sure.
I think it's kind of brave because, and this is no joke, if I cut my hair too short or something and my appearance changes, I get a little freaked out. I'm like, what the fuck? This is not what I'm used to seeing.
You look like Cindy Sheehan. I definitely understand. You transition with a hairdo. I definitely understand.
But I get freaked out. This is not what I'm used to seeing every day. You know what I mean? And then I need to grow my hair back to a certain length and go, oh, okay, that's what I'm used to seeing. I can't imagine now you're going, okay, I'm changing everything.
But can you imagine if your hair was long and you hated it. And you hated it. How nice it'd be to finally look in the mirror and see it short.
Right.
Like imagine if your hair was long and you wanted liquid to come out the back of the hair, but it came out the front over your face.
Right.
And then you finally got that fixed, you'd be happy.
But my example is just a dumb haircut. There are people that go, well, I got to get rid of this fucking nose. I got to open up my eyes, let's say. I got to get the puffy lips. I need breasts now. I just can't imagine that because I get freaked out over the tiniest changes when I see a difference in a mirror. You have a comment on that, Billy J? Like, are you drastically different when you see yourself in the mirror physically from when you were before you transitioned?
It's funny because it happens so gradually, and because I was so young, it makes sense that I look different. You know, it really is like I've just grown up.
Mm-hmm.
My boobs are very different. I mean, I got big fake hands, but for the most part, it's I don't know. I feel like the difference doesn't shock me. I mean, I look like myself when I look at the mirror. It definitely doesn't shock me by any means. But I do get the comparison. And Bruce has already been changing for years. I mean, they look very, very different, and their lips are fuller. And I actually thought that they looked really good. I mean, when I was really looking at Bruce's face, and I thought Bruce Jenner looked like Greta Van Susteren. I mean, I thought this is like an older woman.
Oh, that's funny. Very good. Good comparison. Well,
she looked like an older woman to me.
yeah, Diane Sawyer. So they said we're going to meet back here in a year. I can't even imagine. And then what? He's just going to start walking the red carpet as a female, I guess, because he's not going to go away from.
What do you think the name will be? Will it be Becky? Will it be something with a B?
Oh. No, I don't know. I thought about it. I was hoping to hear the name. I'm like everyone else a little bit where I'm like, ooh, do we get a name tonight? But there wasn't. So
there were rumors that he was going to reveal the name, but I guess they're saving that.
Yeah, Diane Sawyer just asked, are we going to get the name?
Right.
Bruce said no.
And is there more interviews down the road with this?
No, this is the last Bruce interview. Last interview is Bruce, and the next time will be on the reality show, I bet.
And so sometime in the summer, are they filming that now? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. God, Bailey, is there anything else you want to add? Because I really want to ask the proper questions.
Because people have weird issues. Like, do you know? Like, do you have any friends that are men that are like into women and they joke with you, but you know deep down they want to have sex with you?
Oh, yeah. You mean do I have any friends that are just like straight, just like a straight guy? Yeah, I have a lot. And
can I cut to the chase? Can I cut to the chase, Billy J? I've been around long enough, and I want a number. How many comedians in our circle want to have sex with you? You don't have to name names, but you just know. How many? I know of at least 2. I want to know if the number.
I feel like I could make a list of the ones who don't. That would save us a lot.
I think you're right.
Oh my God!
Yeah, some of those comedians, fucking Christ! They stop it. What will the Lord think?
Our friends are all about the Bailey J.
Yes, they are.
My God.
That's true.
The funny thing is, if you're watching Twitter, the biggest shock of the Bruce Jenner interview is the fact that he announced that he was a Republican. That bothered people more than anything.
Yeah,
I was surprised, but at the same time not. Yeah, I actually think that's kind of good. I mean, because I want to see how Republicans respond to that.
A transgender living in California is a Republican. Actually, that is a big shock.
And I bet you that's all about finances too. A lot of rappers are fucking Republicans too, and that's
because they want to keep their money.
Yeah, right.
Oh, whoa.
Yes.
If there's better tax, if you make a shitload of money, being a Republican is a little bit better for your taxes.
Steve in Tennessee, how did Bailey know there was another way to feel when she was 4? Kids only know the way they are taught, I thought. This is what Steve says.
Well, I mean, it's so funny. I just knew, and I knew enough to tell my mother, but it wasn't like dramatic. It wasn't like I'm in the wrong body. It was very much the way a child would say it. It was like, I'm mad at God. He put me in the wrong body. I'm uncomfortable. It was just like very, very straightforward. But I had an older sister. Maybe I would see my older sister doing stuff and be like, oh, that's what I want to do. And putting on makeup or whatever. But yeah, I just knew.
Another stupid question. I want to say this ahead of time for Bailey J. Are you hotter than your older sister?
She said that she showed my picture to someone in her class who was going to nursing school, and unprovoked, they said, like, oh, it's okay, my sister's hotter than me, too.
Oh, no. Is she a cis-normative disaster?
My sister's really pretty. I mean, I grew up for being the pretty one, so
right.
She's 11 years older than me, and she's very attractive.
And one more question. Fast Eddie in Philly. This came up a couple times this morning. Identity versus preference. He thinks that's the real issue here. What do you have to say about that?
Can you explain a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Let
Eddie.
Eddie.
Let's shoot this fucker, Eddie.
Eddie, go ahead, buddy. You're on with Bailey J, our friend.
Hey, hey, Tinky Winky. How are you today?
Hi, Eddie Weddy.
Yeah, I mean, as a flaming heterosexual, I guess the big takeaway for me was the part where, it got to Bruce identifies as a female, but prefers females. So that was a real eye-opener, and I think that'll be a real eye-opener for a lot of people that actually watched it. I just walked into it assuming that, Bruce is gay, period. Mm-hmm. So that whole split for somebody that, isn't surrounded by it, or I don't really have any friends that are, transgender, it was a real eye-opener for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge because a lot of people don't even, they just think like, oh, this person has to be gay. And in my experience, they're almost always, well, in a way they are gay because I consider it to be a lesbian, these people to be lesbians, but it's, and a lot of them look like lesbians. I mean, a lot of them look like Janine Garofalo. They just play, a lot of them are like white queer journalists who are with women. And, yeah, so I think that's huge because it shows people that it's not like, because being trans doesn't mean you're extra gay. Like, it doesn't mean you're so gay that you're wearing a dress. That's like some sort of weird, like, idea of what it even means to be gay. I know so many hypermasculine gay men.
Let me tag Eddie's question here. So Bruce Jenner was a ladies' man. That's all we knew about him growing up. He had 3 wives. They were all hot. He says he likes women. I believe him. He says he's going to continue to like women. But doesn't that change the type of woman he's now going to have attracted to him? And is he going to be okay with that?
Well, I mean, I imagine there weren't too many. I mean, because Bruce is getting older. I mean, how many people that would be with Bruce at this point would be there because of their looks?
Right.
I mean,
Right. Yeah, he said it's not the number one priority anymore. Or I forgot exactly how he said that, but basically saying, look, I'm 65. My sex drive is very different. It's not the one. That's not the reason why I'm doing this. I'm not worried about that part of this.
He stood up and grabbed his cock through his pants, and he said to Diane, I don't need to get this puppy sucked as much as I used to. You don't remember that part?
I do.
Yeah, it was really a cool part of the interview.
I think I was too busy watching Jim Norton on Epix. I missed it. Damn it. But what kind of women, let's say he's going to date as a woman, all right? What kind of women can he expect to have attracted to him?
Well, I mean, I imagine an older woman,
but an older lesbian, you know what I mean?
I think this person could be a lesbian. I also think this person could just be queer identified, where maybe they're not specifically. I mean, sexuality is very fluid, especially for older women. At least I live in the Hudson Valley, so I know a lot of 65-year-old women who are recently lesbians.
Wow.
So it's they're all like white witches, and they move in together and have 6 cats, and they're lesbians now because they got a divorce, and that happens. I mean, I feel like they could meet a very nice woman who finds them attractive, because not everybody's gay or straight. Sometimes it really is on the scale somewhere.
Right. I think he's just knocking down his numbers drastically by doing this if he still likes women. But that's.
But it's like Ellen got a really much hotter girl than she would have got if she wasn't Ellen. So, you know what I mean? Like, Mick Jagger's still picking off 18-year-olds, so Bruce Jenner will have his choice of fucking hot women that he wants. His quality of women physically won't change, because some young lesbian will absolutely date him because of who he is, or who she is.
If Mick Jagger was never in the Rolling Stones, what kind of women would he be dating now?
He'd get good-looking girls because he's a good-looking dude, but at his age now, at 70, whatever, the quality would have dropped. He wouldn't still pick Brazilian models to impregnate.
He would be lucky to get maybe a 55-year-old
Yeah, I mean, he
woman
wouldn't be,
from Binghamton.
He wouldn't be picking off fucking, hot young. He can still fuck any woman in the room.
Amazing.
And I got a guy on Twitter.
Yes.
I guess I said before there was something sad about it. I don't remember what I said, but his ELJD at Twitter, ELJD1, was responding. He goes, Jim Norton, what is sad? Is it sad that we tolerate this perversion and tell people they have to accept immorality? Like, come on, man. It's not like it's a morals issue. Like, what morality are you talking about? Like, I don't think it's immoral.
It doesn't make any sense. I think that actually stems from sexism, not to go all super feministy on everybody. I think a lot of that stems from sexism, where they view it as a downgrade. The idea that someone assigned male would even want to be a woman, somehow that's some sort of a degrading act. And I don't think that's the case, because I don't think there's anything wrong with being a woman. I don't think that it is a downgrade. I really don't.
All right. Thank you, Bailey.
Yeah, Fast Eddie, thank you. Let's get rid of him. Bailey J., what's the big plug today?
Plug for me?
Yes, please.
Plug. Okay. What do I have? I've got my podcast, got the Bailey J Show, and I was supposed to be on TV talking about the Jenner thing, but I decided not to, because I have talked to everyone about the Jenner thing. So
you should have.
Yeah, you should have. What were you supposed to be on?
You're very educated on this, obviously. What shows did you blow off?
Well, they wanted me on the nightly show on Comedy Central, because they liked my Amy thing, but I couldn't make it because I have a very sick husband. He's sick, and I'm upstate, and I'm exhausted.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, it's Bailey J on what is it on Twitter?
Oh, Bailey J Tweets on Twitter.
Bailey J Tweets.
Yeah.
Okay, on Twitter.
And sorry. Thank you, Bailey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you soon.
And
Bailey
to respond to another guy, not that Twitter should be the way we run the show, but the one, I forget the guy's name, I'm trying to find it, but I can't. He's a more tranny talk. This is riveting. What do you want us to talk about? It's the fucking biggest story in the country.
17 million fucking people watched it, and people have questions.
So the guy who just wrote, NECMQC, call in and tell us what you'd like us to talk about. I'm not even saying that as a dick. I don't want to yell at you. I'm legitimately asking you.
I was out and about all weekend. I was down in Philly. I did a March of Dimes march. The only reason I bring it up...
Let me put in my 10 cents.
The only reason I bring it up, because it's kind of boring as far as a radio show goes, but, a lot of money was raised for a wonderful cause. But the point is, I was in front of a whole bunch of people this weekend, Jim Norton, and that's what everyone was talking about. As you're walking, strangers, you could hear them talking about the Bruce Jenner 10 feet behind me. All the people, there was like at least 50 of us in our group. That's all anyone wanted to talk about the whole weekend. Yeah. It was unbelievable. I've never seen everyone on one topic like this in a really, really long time.
But it's like, I just want to know, what should we be talking? Like, all right, we talk about it. We know a little bit about it. Some of us know more than others, but not, medically. We get Bailey J on the phone. Like, what do you want us to do? Not talk about it, or do 10 minutes and then fucking, I don't know what this guy wants. So I'm asking you to call in. And I'm asking you legitimately. I don't know what you want us to talk about.
He probably would rather just hide behind his, his fake fucking Twitter account, unfortunately.
Unless he was being very honest.
Yeah, call in with that.
Unless he actually meant that, like, literally. No. This really is fascinating.
Right, yeah.
Pumping his fucking prick.
Call in with that shit.
Prick to it.
Call in with that shit. Don't hide behind your fake Twitter accounts.
Fucking Sam interviewing the presidential candidate.
Okay.
One more call. Kevin in Atlanta. I should have let you talk to Bailey J. Kevin, go ahead.
Shit, I ain't gonna talk to her.
Why don't you want to talk to Bailey J? She's a wonderful person.
Man, I ain't down with this sick stuff y'all got going on, man.
You're not down with this sick shit?
Yeah, it's a lot of sick stuff going on. I don't know what it is, but I don't know what's going on in the world, but there's a lot of sick stuff going on, and we are putting it on a pedestal for some reason. I don't know why.
In some cases, but what do you think is sick here?
Obviously, the people who do that, they got mental problems.
I don't know. I did ask that question, and I want to make it clear. I think in most cases, the person is like, oh my God, I'm in the wrong fucking body. And then I just wonder if there's a small percentage of people that maybe it's more based on mental illness. But I don't know the answer to that, and I just threw that question out there.
If it was mental illness, don't you think... because most psychologists or psychiatrists are saying it's not just the mental, like there's mental aspects to it, but it's not just mental illness. Don't you think they'd all be screaming, this is just mental illness, because then people would be rushing to therapy instead of getting surgery?
Right.
I mean, it's something that I'm saying that, but it's something that ain't. But I don't get in on the science. I go in on what I go through and what I feel. I can't base it off everything else. But I put it like this: I know people. I'm friends with people who are killers. That straight up will kill somebody, and they are sick people. They evil.
Sure.
And they are born that way. As they would say, tell me, I don't believe it, but they say they're born that way. And they're evil, and we don't put them on a pedestal.
We don't put. Hold on a second. We don't put them on pedestals. Yeah. I mean, I'm not comparing trans people to John Wayne Gacy or fucking or Wayne Williams or Ted Bundy, but we absolutely
make them rock stars.
We make them rock stars, so we kind of do.
Okay, my bad. I don't mean to say put it on pedestal. I mean to say
literally rock star. Look at what they did to the Boston Bomber, putting him on the front page of the Rolling Stone magazine.
Cover.
I just want to say, like, the president wouldn't congratulate this. This wouldn't be something that we would commend people for.
He mentioned transgender people as being part of this country.
Exactly, but he wouldn't do that for Tukey Williams.
Well, Tukey Williams is a guy. Like, Tukey Williams is a guy.
No, I'm talking about sick behavior. Because it's like people fuck animals. People been doing that since the beginning of time.
Because we're talking about.
We don't say, like, we know, like, that's sick.
Tukey Williams. Animals. Dude, I know what you mean. Like, why Tukey Williams is sick behavior, not their sick? Because the president's not looking at trans people like they're sick. He's looking at them like they're a class of people who get treated like shit. Like the way, it's like the way we talk about, like, interracial relationships now is the way they'll talk about trans people 30 years from now. Like, it's just a common thing and it's cool. But 30 or 50, or not 30, but say 50 years ago, people argued against interracial relationships the way people argue against fucking transgender people. It's sick. It's against God. It's not natural. People should be with their own. It's wrong to crossbreed races. That was how people looked at interracial shit.
Yeah. I hear you on that, but then I go to another point. People having fucking kids since the beginning of time. Will that become appropriate at some time? That's what I'm saying. When is the line going to be drawn? Like, no, that's sick.
Well, victimizing people, like fucking kids is kind of victimizing kids.
Right.
You say that, but the people who do it doesn't look at it as victimizing.
No, but the victims do. Like, the difference is between self-identity and who you are and who you feel like you are, I think is different than if I go out and behave and fuck animals. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're fucking,
I get you.
If you say you're a pedophile,
you do it to yourself. I get you.
Yeah,
it's more doing to yourself than like doing it to others. I feel you, but I see where it's heading to. Like,
well,
when is there going to be a time where they're going to be like, no, that ain't right?
Well, I don't think this is the case. I mean, we our old engineer at XM now lives as a woman. He was great on the phone when he was explaining this whole thing. I believe we have two people working here now that transitioned.
There's one in the studio who's about to. I'm looking at him.
I know. Look, it's not true.
Look, but to your points, I'm taken aback still a little bit. You're like, whoa, hey, where, how I was raised and stuff. It's a little weird still to me, but I'm trying to have an open mind and trying to educate myself and trying to wrap my head around this whole thing.
Try wrapping your hand or mouth. That'll change the way you feel.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead, comment.
If it means I learn quicker.
I got an open mind, too. I'm trying to understand what's going on, but it's not like it's something in my soul that's telling me this is wrong. It's not like I can't be like, I'm going with this because something more inside my, people say morality, but I call it your soul, and something inside me is saying this ain't right.
Yeah, it's a hard one to get, man. It's like people do. A lot of people are like this. Hey, I'm trying to understand it, or I'm trying to listen, but it's hard to get. It is hard for a lot of people to get.
Look, or you don't want to understand it. I mean, Kevin, I think you're talking for a whole bunch of people out there that feel like you.
I'm trying to understand it because they try to put it with the black stuff, and I'll
whole bunch of people.
Throw that to the ground real quick.
I mean, I didn't know much growing up, and the whole gay thing. It took me many, many years to just understand that lifestyle because, when we were growing up, it wasn't in the forefront whatsoever. And now I completely accept that and understand that, but many, many years, you were, I don't know, society in general made made you feel like that was not the right way to live a life? And I don't believe that whatsoever anymore. And you think back to the kids in your high school that it was so obvious they were gay, and I had no idea back then. I had no idea on the topic whatsoever. So now I think back, is this transgender thing now going to take another, I don't know, let's say 10 years for me to fully understand it? Because I'm not there yet either, but I'm trying to understand it.
I don't even understand the gay thing, because that's it's all, to me, it's all mental illness.
Being gay, I know enough gay people where that's just not true or fair.
I know people that went to jail, fucked somebody in jail, and will tell me they're not gay, but they're gay to me. But they say they're not gay, but they chose gay.
We discussed that over the weekend too. That's more you're doing a gay act. Does that make you gay?
So that's what I'm saying. What's the difference? Is gay two different meanings? That's what I'm trying to say.
I'll tell you the difference.
If you're in jail and there's no women around and you're really fucking horny, and now you decide I'm going to go down this road and now I'm performing gay acts, does that actually make you gay? And I don't think it does.
If you're at a salad bar and that's all there is, so you eat it, does that make you a vegetarian?
That's a good one.
I really don't know if it means you're gay.
Oh no, it's gay. 'Cause to me, gay is having sex with your same
same
male
gender.
on male or female on female. That's gay. That's the definition, right?
So if you perform a gay act every single time, that means you're gay.
If you perform it one time, you're gay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Of course not.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
Yes,
I don't.
Sam piped right up with that.
I mean, hold on up the definition.
Well, what about all the experimenting those ladies do in college? Are they all lesbians, or were they just having a good time on a Saturday night?
They're bull dykes, but they're hiding it. Okay.
Bull dykes, my God! At least say lipstick
I don't mean
lesbians.
that. I'm joking on that. They ain't
Okay.
bull dykes, but they're lesbians, and
Well, Kev,
that's just what it is. They're lesbians.
we got food in front of us. I appreciate your phone call, and I do appreciate it because I know you're representing a lot of people out there that they're not there, and they might not ever be there. And you should be able to vocalize that side of the issue as well. I think. I don't know.
Just fuck with y'all, man.
All right, Kevin.
See you, man.
Kevin in Atlanta. Hot Atlanta.
All right.
We got Doug Benson today. We got maybe some of the Diane Sawyer clips. We never got to the clips because the discussion was very good. We got to talk about Nepal. Oh, my God, this earthquake. Holy shit.
You did this video, too. I want to see the video. I haven't seen the video. I seen the video 3 times in 1 second.
From the base camp?
Yeah.
And how did we get that video? Did some people survive that?
Yeah, one guy survived it. He got covered. I think it survived.
Just one guy survived?
I believe so.
Oh, the wall of snow. You saw that.
I didn't.
You haven't seen it yet?
No.
All right.
I was busy watching Sam interview the presidential candidate.
How was that, Sam? That was a big get for you on Friday.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Thanks.
What's his
Thanks,
platform? It's the Waka guy.
Waka Flocka Flame?
Yep.
Waka Flocka?
Yeah, I hit him with a fucking great joke.
I don't even remember what it was.
What was the joke?
Something like I should be the treasurer because I make dollars.
Yeah, that's not. See what I like? It wasn't even worth mentioning.
What's his platform?
Well,
why should we vote for Waka Flocka?
Marijuana advocacy is a big selling point on him.
All right, that's kind of smart on his part.
Yeah, he's into. He thinks women are good on rights. Like women have enough rights as it is, so he's not running on that.
Okay.
Gun rights. He's more concerned. He thinks he's, I guess, an advocate for gun rights, but we more ended up just talking about the time he was in an airport with a gun in his bag. Than actually a political platform. But he's not, the party that he's running with is not Republican or Democrat.
What are they?
The Brick Squad movement.
Okay.
Brick, obviously referring to a
brick house?
No, I think
a brick of drugs.
A brick of drugs.
Oh,
yeah.
Brick of drugs.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, understandable.
Yeah, brick of drugs. So he seems to be taken very, very seriously, though.
You should say Waka Flocka Flame. That's a fucking hot ticket. Place would have went nuts.
He did say a couple of things that
garbage.
he said he would absolutely go back to play at Oklahoma, the college that he didn't play at. He said he'll definitely be back there.
Okay.
And
was he supposed to play for the fraternity or the campus? So it was for the fraternity.
Yeah.
So we fully understood in the end why he would have to cancel that.
And he's played for that frat many times. He said they never said anything to his face, obviously.
Right.
And he said that he did not believe one of the Bill Cosby accusers. He thought every Bill Cosby accuser was lying.
There's 3 more today that came out.
He thinks they're lying too.
Which I think makes it over 40 now.
He said he could.
A couple of them probably are lying, but
not all of them. I don't think.
No, I think the majority are not lying.
But he's the only presidential candidate that has said Bill Cosby is completely innocent.
He rules. He fucking rules.
So
it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's not hiding.
Does he really believe that?
And
Sam,
He probably does.
He did not
tear down a wall. Tear down a wall today.
He did not. He didn't break that. Who Kid specifically said that Bill Cosby obviously did do it.
So they're gonna have a problem if Who Kid is the vice president.
He is.
They got to be on the same page with this shit.
It did feel like when Biden came out and said that gay marriage was okay, and then Obama just kind of has to go with him.
Obama was pissed. He was like, "I'm not ready to fucking say this."
Right, and whereas Waka Flocka is not ready to say that Bill Cosby could possibly be guilty of some of the accusations.
Yeah, Biden forced that issue, not Obama.
Biden did.
Biden was the brave one there.
Yeah, Waka said that he didn't believe that because he remembers Bill Cosby from the Jello pudding commercials. So
okay.
He's done his homework and he's kind of figured it all out.
Gotcha. You know what? I know we're trying to move on, but I got to take Jay's phone call from Fort Wayne because I forgot about this as far as our discussion this morning for the last hour. But this is absolutely the truth. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, I hear you guys talk about this all the time, but the creator of Sirius Radio is Martine Rothblatt. That used to be Martin Rothblatt, and is transgender.